Hello everybody, it is Dangeles, and welcome back to episode number 130 of Constructing Los Angeles. So guys, as you guys may or may not know, today is a very special episode. Today we are going to be doing a recap episode for the first time since episode number 110. So for anybody who does not know, a recap episode usually happens on the zeros, so for example 110, 120, 130. And this is basically when we just go around the world and kind of just take a recap, pretty much is the word that you want to use. Just look over everything that we've been building, just kind of get a sense of how the world is developing over time. And this is kind of cool for all you new subscribers. You can check out the world, everything that's been built since the very first episode. And then for you longtime subscribers, it really just gives you a sense of how the world is coming along, how it's developing as a whole, and you can kind of watch this video if you've missed a couple episodes or something like that, just kind of catch yourself up. So that's what we're going to be doing today, guys, with today's recap. So I want to do this in a little bit different than I've done in the past. In times in the past, I've done like little time lapses and stuff like that. This time I'm going to be doing a chronological recap. So I'm going to start from day one, the first episode, very beginning, and kind of just slowly but surely work our way until now, episode 130. So we're going to go ahead and start with episode 1, where basically we just kind of mapped out what we were going to be doing on the world. And the first, I would say 5 or 10 episodes of the series, we were working in this area of the map, and we actually started building over here. In fact, the first skyscraper, the first building that was built on this world was this one right here. So a little bit outdated now. It's over a year old, so it is a little bit outdated for today's Minecraft, but it's still a pretty nice building. And after we built that one, we started to work our way over here and develop what I like to call like the old part of town, since this part is almost all of it is almost a year old. So we have the building over here, which is based off Tinsel Towers in GTA. We have that building right next to the first one. We have the sandstone building, which still actually is one of my favorites on the world. I really do like this one. This one's very old, over a year old, but it's still a pretty nice building. And we got the parking garage with a couple of pigs and cows on the roof. We have City Hall. So all of this stuff was built in the first, I would say 30 episodes of the series. So basically, if you look at this road here, everything to the right of this, where I'm looking, is pretty much old and was the first stuff that was built on the series. Besides these two buildings over here, these are the exception to that rule. These two buildings, these identical buildings that have a sky bridge connecting them in the middle, these are relatively new. I would say they were built over the summer, so they're not too old. They look pretty good though. I like these. So that's like pretty much the origins of the city part of this world. So yeah, obviously the city isn't the only part of this map. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna fly on the other side of the map. We're just gonna do a quick transition. And by the way, we are on Xbox One today. I don't know if I mentioned that at the beginning. Just a little bit more render distance, than the graphics are a little bit better here on Xbox One than they are in 360. It's really nice for recap tours because you can get a really nice sense of how big the city has become. It looks for whatever reason, it looks so much bigger here on Xbox One, just because you can see a little bit further out, which I really do like. I just wish that the maps were backwards compatible so I could build on here more. So anyway, before we get too off topic, let's come over here. We have this area of the map is one of the oldest parts of the map. As you guys know, if you guys have been following the series recently, this part of the map is under kind of a little bit of a renovation. So we have this whole area. We originally had a house here that I've torn down recently, and we had these two houses, which were this one right here, as many of you guys may know, is the first house that was built in the world, and this one will be taken down fairly soon. It's kind of sad, but it's just simply too outdated at this point, and I'm just not really a big fan of it anymore. So I'm going to be getting rid of that and replacing it with something much cooler. And the same thing goes for this greenhouse here. So this was like the first neighborhood of Los Angeles. Unfortunately, it's not going to make the final cut on this world, but still some good memories building this area of the map. So we're going to move on. And obviously all of this was changed. We used to have like a bridge here and things like that, but it's now been a lot of terraforming has happened. A lot of changes have taken place here on the world. And let's keep on going here. Let's go and check some more stuff out. So just to keep on moving on in the order of the world, once I really finished building that neighborhood of the map, I started to transition my way to the other side of the world, where I was working on, just fly over these hills, I was working on the neighborhood that is developed over here. So I decided to just completely change directions and go to the other side of the map, and I moved over here where we built, sorry, there's like a bug in my face, I had to stop for a second, where we built a couple of houses over here. So we have the Green Mansion, which was the first house built over on this side of the map. And then we have a bunch of modern houses. So we have, let's see, let me look at this one. This one's called Dan's M&M. I'm pretty sure that stands for modern and minimalistic. This one's kind of old. Again, a lot of these houses were built before the city texture pack even was released. So again, a lot of them are very old, but they still look nice. I actually really do like this one. This is actually one of my favorite modern houses that I've ever built. I'm not really super duper into modern builds on Minecraft, but you know, every once in a while I'll make one, and this is probably one of my favorites. It's pretty simple and cool. And then, you know, continuing that theme, we have, you know, the weird looking house over here with the curve. I believe this one's just called a weird house. Yeah. And then we got this one over here, which is a little bit more of a standard modern house, which this one's nice as well. And most of them have a nice little, you know, look out over the water or something like that. So this is the most developed neighborhood of Los Angeles. This is the main neighborhood. You know, it's pretty much done at this point. I haven't worked on it in a long time since it's been finished. Like I said, we have another modern house over here. This is the Farnsworth house. This is based off a real life house, which is really nice. Let's see, and then over here we start to, I guess, transition away from modern more to like a traditional area. So we got a couple of houses here, like this one made out of spruce wood. This one's made out of gray wool. And then you kind of transition down here. We got a Tudor style house. We have another one down there, which we'll check out in a second. We have another traditional style house. This is one of my favorites in the world. This one's really nice. We continue on where we have a beach house right here with the lighthouse conversion. This house can be found on my top 5 favorite houses countdown video. So that one's really nice. One of my favorites of the area. And then we have a little cottage out in the snow over here. So, and that's just, this might actually have some renovation at some point. I was thinking about some different ideas that we could do with this area instead of having like a snow biome. But that will be a future episode, I guess. So we're going to keep on moving here. This pretty much covers the neighborhood of Los Angeles. We have one more house over there. Well, really 2 more houses to cover. But yeah, I mean, this area is very well developed, and it's pretty much finished. You can kind of get a really good view of what it looks like from an aerial view up here with this nice render distance. So it looks really nice. You know, a bunch of different houses. There's like 10 or 15 houses here. So lots of awesomeness. And this is kind of like the other half of the city. You know, we have like the city district, and then we have, you know, the neighborhoods and the suburban areas. So let's move on down this road as we transition towards the desert biome. But before we head that way, we're going to make a quick pit stop at the last 2 houses of this neighborhood. First off, we have the traditional, no, this is not traditional, sorry, the Tudor style house. This is a remastered version. As you can see, it says Tudor style house here. And this one was actually originally placed in the first neighborhood, which we checked out earlier, but it was moved over here, and I think this is a much better spot for it. Also did some renovations to it and just made it look overall better. So again, one of my favorite houses on the world, and it's always going to be really awesome to have it there. So if we move on down this street, again, we have our own private street for this next house. So, of course, you guys all know this one. If you're here on my channel, if you're a longtime subscriber, or even if you're a new subscriber, maybe the Alpine Mansion, you know, helped you find my channel, or helped, yeah. So, you know, we don't really need to discuss this too much. This is just, you know, the staple of the world, you know, textbook Alpine Mansion. Obviously based off a real mansion in my home state of New Jersey. So, classic. We don't really need to discuss it too much, but it's there. It'll always be there, kind of the staple of the world. This is going to start to transition into the desert biome. So once you kind of leave the neighborhood, we start to move into the desert biome where we have a mining company building. This is called Block 12 Mining Company, which is a really cool building. We have a trailer park over here. So, you know, all you Walter Whites can get your meth cooking on over here. Even this one looks like it's got a little bit of smoke coming out. So this one's got some suspicious activity. It's like the Winnebago. And then if you kind of circle around this winding, sandy, kind of run-down desert road, this will connect you to what I like to call the gate of the world. Like, this is the main entrance. This is like the front gate of the world. So if you come flying down from over here, this is really where I like to call. Even though it's new, it's not exactly like the beginning, the first thing I built. But this is really where I like to enter from, because this is, you know, it's got the nice Los Angeles sign above the highway tunnel. And you can kind of see the Eclipse Tower starting to load in the background, which we'll get to. So that's really kind of the main entrance to the world, the Los Angeles, you know, kind of sign right there. So if we move on down this pathway, well, this highway, as we kind of just head down the highway, got a bunch of cars that were built by subscribers through here. And then we have kind of the newer part of the city district, which is where we are going to kind of discuss and, you know, kind of go over right now. So we have the plaza, and the plaza is kind of, it has a bunch of things. It has a couple of New York style inspirations. So we have a little water features based off the 9/11 memorial. We have an ice skating rink, kind of like Rockefeller Center. And again, you know, the 9/11 memorial style of, it's not exactly the same, you know, because they're a little bit bigger in real life, but I just kind of made something based off of that, and we did this on episode 100 of Constructing Los Angeles. Of course, we have the 2 Eclipse Towers, which are the biggest skyscrapers in the world, but who knows, maybe I will make something even larger at some point. We still got plenty of space. We have some townhouses here that have been built, so when I go through and like look at all this stuff again, after, you know, spending so much time in this world, it really is kind of remarkable how much I built, even though it's been a long time, but it still is pretty remarkable how much stuff is on this world. We have a museum right here. If we come over here, we have a gas station. We have, this is one of my favorite buildings, actually. This is the Los Angeles Customs. So if you come inside of here, there's like a little, you know, mod shop in here where you can bring your cars and they'll get it fixed up for you. So that's pretty cool. You can soup them up and get them all pimped out and stuff like that. So we're just going to make a quick transition and get a bed out and sleep real quick, guys, because we don't want to be doing any of this recap at night. All right, so let's continue on with the tour. So we only have a few things left to kind of go over in the city area of the map. We have a nice modern building here, which is coming along. It's not 100% finished, but it's a pretty nice building. I think it adds a lot of cool designs to the world, because there's a lot of buildings that are kind of like similar, but when you add something like this, it just adds a really nice unique element. So we have the hospital right here, which is, again, still a work in progress, but coming along pretty nicely. Kind of has like a tunnel running across the road, and it's kind of like, you know, 2 buildings like morphed into one. So we got some a hospital. This is part of the hospital here, which has been worked on recently. And then this part over here we worked on episode 75 of Los Angeles, so a long time ago. And if we, you know, obviously transition back over here to the old part of the city, which we discussed earlier. Got a bunch of skyscrapers over here. These ones are kind of old too. I don't know exactly how old they are. I can't really remember, but they've been modified recently. But most of these on this block, you kind of have 5 skyscrapers on this block with the Outback Steakhouse, which we'll zoom over here on the Outback Steakhouse. So right there we have our Outback kind of surrounded by 5 skyscrapers, which is cool. We have our Flower Pot Coffee Shop, which is really nice. We have our Italian restaurant, so lots of eateries and places to eat around the city, which is great. Got a nice pickup truck here built by a subscriber. I actually really like this design. This is pretty cool. So good job by, let's see who built this. Oh, looks like we don't have a sign on who built it, so that's a shame. But whoever this was, you know who you are, and thanks for building it. All right, so let's move on to the last few things I want to show on today's recap video. And then we will, you know, come back to you guys to episode 131 and continue building all this stuff. So it's amazing how much stuff needs to be showed over the entire history of this city. It's kind of, you know, blowing my mind here. So we have there 2 bridges that connect between the river that run through the middle of the map. This is something that's been worked on fairly recently, within the last like 30 episodes or so, which is kind of funny to say it like that because there's been so many episodes. So moving on to something that we've been building very recently, and that is the stadium. So I've been working on this last like 2 or 3 episodes, I think 3 episodes. I've been making some pretty good progress on it. Again, I've been procrastinating on the stadium, as you guys may know, and but you know, making some good progress on it right now. So we kind of added this curving part of the wall recently, which is, you know, giving me a lot of motivation to continue to work on it because I really do like the way that turned out. So the stadium is kind of my main priority in the world right now, and that will continue to develop as we go along. So if we move over here to the other side of the parking lot from the stadium, which is right here, nice parking lot, nice and big. There's a bed that we could have slept in. We have the police station. So this is going to be a police station here. I'm not 100% done. A lot of things in this world aren't 100% done really ever. So I kind of like to work on a lot of different things at once. That's kind of been the theme of the series. I'm trying to like stray away from that and try to work on one thing at a time. So eventually this will be a priority and it will be finished. So it's going to be a police station, as you can see, LDPD. And then right over here we have a half-finished fire station as well, which is really nice. So we have that. And then to kind of wrap off this episode, well, we have to check out the Hollywood Hills in a second, but to wrap off this episode, I just wanted to kind of show you guys this area of the map because this is a part that is still under development, and this is a place where we can really grow the city. So we have a yacht design, we have a couple of you know, cargo planes up there, just some cool vehicles and stuff that I built and done tutorials for. And you know, this part of the map is still under development, but it has a chance to, you know, really grow into something really neat. So that's going to be, you know, in the future plans. And then last but not least, guys, we're going to check out some of the Hollywood Hills again, something that's also still in development. But that's, you know, the whole point of the series. Everything is still, you know, developing, and, you know, we're not even nearly close to being done, but that's kind of the fun of it. You know, we still have lots to do, and it's kind of exciting. It kind of motivates me to build stuff when I'm looking back at all this stuff. Anyway, so this is just a couple of modern houses up on these hills, kind of like, you know, a little bit of Los Santos, a little bit of Los Angeles kind of thing. Just trying to build a bunch of modern houses up on the hills, kind of just on the outside of the city. just add some nice I guess residential areas to the world. So guys, that's where I'm going to conclude today's recap. I'm going to come back at you guys for episode 131 in a few days, where we will continue to build. I'll most likely be working on the stadium, but honestly, who knows? You never really know what I'm going to be doing on each episode. So again, I want to thank you, all the subscribers who contributed cars and stuff like that. We have a it looks like a fire truck by Killer Cereal, so that's cool. And again, I want to go into all the cars in more detail very soon, so stay tuned for that. Of course, stay tuned for the future episodes of Constructing Los Angeles. Thank you guys so much for all the support you guys give this series. It's really fun that I've been able to have that's going to be hard to say, sustained success. Wow, that's a tongue twister. On a series for so long. So I really appreciate it, guys. It's been 130 episodes in, and we're still going strong. Thank you guys very much for watching. Give it a like if you did enjoy it. It's been Dan Lags. I will talk to you guys on the next one. Peace out.